So in this video, we are going to talk about like how I transformed my journey from a .NET developer to a data analyst. So before starting the video, I just want to tell you, like I have recently created a YouTube channel in which I am going to drop like complete series on data analytics. And if you talk about running series, so running series are from SQL and Python. So these are the two series that are currently running. And I have posted 4 videos on SQL and 3 videos on Python. So I would like to tell you, like, if you have a dream to crack a data analyst job in 2024, and if you don't have that much amount to buy some fancy courses, so yeah, you can prepare like from this channel also. So I recommend you, all of you, like just try to subscribe my YouTube channel so that you can get some latest updates that are there. And on a daily basis, I'm going to try to just drop some videos on a daily basis. So it's my request to all of you, please subscribe the channel and get the latest content on a daily basis. So now let's start the main agenda of this meeting. So basically, I'm going to tell you about like how I transformed myself from a .NET developer to a data analyst. So now this is the screen that you are seeing right now. So we'll start with like how I started. So when I was like preparing for data analyst, so we'll go little 3 to 4 months back. So that was the time when I started I have to move from a carrier to a different carrier. So I was working in Coforge Private Limited as a .NET developer. When I was working there, I got to know that this is something that is not like, I'm not liking that .NET developer thing. My first profile was as a fresher. I joined as .NET developer and I am 2021 pass out. So at starting, like for initial 3 months, when I joined the company as a .NET developer, they gave me training on Microsoft SQL Server, and they gave me training on different other stuffs also, like related to .NET thing. And at starting, I learned those things, and I was a person who was like doing the things. It was okay for me. But after some time, I realized that that much coding into a .NET developer profile is not suiting me, and I'm not able to like I don't want to practice on that thing as well. So that is something that was making me stuck. And after 4 months of my freshers profile, what I have seen is there were no projects for me. So I was for 11 months in Coforge, and for complete 11 months, I was with no project. Like after the training and all, and they told us to do some mini kind of projects, but I was like with no projects. So now that was month 7th when I decided that I have to go to a different profile. Now at that point of time, there were different stories that come into my mind, but I have seen like 2 to 3 of my close friends, they are preparing for data engineering and data analytics. And one of them was placed as a data engineer in a company also. So when I talked with them, they told me that that data analyst profile has more potential, and this is a profile in which you can grow your career even if you are from any background. So if I tell you about my background, I am from computer science background, but that was something that was not regarding background only, because if you want to become a data analyst, you can become a data analyst from any background. Even if you are from non-tech background, then also you can become a data analyst. Even if you have a career gap of 3 to 4 years or 5 years, then also you can become a data analyst. But there is a proper procedure of doing all these things. And when I started my journey to become a data analyst, I don't have that proper procedure. So it took me 6 months to actually crack a job. So now I'm going to tell you what I have done in my 6 months journey. So at starting, like other people do, I joined a program which is known as full stack data analyst program. So that was a data analyst program from Masai School. So I joined that program from Masai School, and they were giving a guarantee that if you are not placed as a data analyst, they are not going to charge anything. But if you are placed as a data analyst, then you have to pay a 5 lakh, you have to pay some X amount. So I'm not going to disclose that amount, but yeah, you have to pay the X amount to them. So I joined that thing because my current package was 3.5 lakh in Coforge. And that was really a less package because, see, as per my expectations, I was getting nothing. But yeah, many people who don't have a job, for them 3.5 lakh of package is also good. So I'm not going to say that it's a bad amount, but yeah, it was not up to my expectations. So after that, I decided that let's start with Masai School. So when I joined Masai School, I have seen the curriculum, that what they are going to teach and what the things that they want to do with me as to increase my data analyst profile thing. So they started with Excel. Telling you a truth, at that point of time, I was zero in Excel because I haven't worked with Excel. And that was something that I haven't worked, so I was zero. But I was aware that, yeah, in data analytics profile, you need Excel. So for 15 days or 20 days of training of Excel, I was a person who was very good in, till up to a level of pivot tables and dashboarding, I was very good. So after that, SQL curriculum was started. Now in SQL curriculum, I have seen a lot of things. So being from a computer science background, SQL was something that was bread and butter for me, because in my college days also I loved SQL, and I was like, I tried love to coding on that profile. But yeah, SQL, after learning SQL, I got to know that, yeah, the things that they are teaching currently to me is not something that I cannot do. I know these things. So after 3 months of journey in Masai School, after 3 months of journey in Masai School, I left Masai School. But in this 3 months of journey, a new journey was started with me. Like, I decided to have a new journey. So when I was in Masai, I was teaching my friends who were from different non-tech background to get into a data analyst role. So I was teaching them SQL and Python because they were not that much aware about that SQL and Python. So I started teaching them SQL and Python at that point of time. And that thing for 3 months, I teach them for free. And that thing for 3 months transformed me as a technical person. So now they have, because when you will teach someone, they will have different kind of doubts. And when you will clear their doubts, at that point of time, you will learn something more. So that thing increased the knowledge of SQL and Python in my mind. So now, after 3 months, I was a person who was very good in technical. But when I left Masai School, I was with no job. And in my company also, in Coforge also, there were the 3 months of notice period. So like complete 3 months of notice period was there. And I have given a bond of 1.5 lakh. So I was like with bond of 1.5 lakh. So what I decided was, see, when you have a knowledge in something, like when you become knowledgeable person, at that point of time, there is a gut feeling kind of thing that, yeah, if I will crack this job. I will crack data analytics. So what I did was, I dropped the resignation in my company. I dropped the resignation. And I dropped this resignation in the month of September. So in the month of September, I dropped the resignation, and I got 90 days of notice period. 90 days of notice period. I think in September or July, I dropped. I'm not that much aware right now, but yeah, I dropped my notice period. So I got a 90 days like complete 90 days notice period, and there was a bond also. So without like seeing anything, I decided that yeah, I will pay a 1.5 lakh rupees bond as well. Now, in this 3 months of time, I was left with only skills because no projects were there, and I learned the skills in data analytics, but there was nothing like what to do next. So at that point of time, I decided to make my resume. So I made my resume, and when I was making my resume, at starting my resume was not getting shortlisted anywhere. That was because I was not like, my resume was not very good, and my experience in my previous company was nothing because I haven't done any work on projects. So I have written any blah 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 experience. After that, some of the people, I connected with the people who are working as a data analyst and I talked with them. So that was the most important thing that I did in my life. I talked with the people who are actually a data analyst. Because see, if a person is working as a data analyst, he will tell you the real truth. The teachers who are teaching you like SQL, Python, Excel, and different people who are not working anywhere, but they are teaching you. See, I'm not saying that their knowledge is good. Completely agree. But the point is, it's not only about knowledge, it's about experience. So if a person who is experienced in, he is helping you to crack a role, then it will be more easy for you to gain the real insights like how a data analyst works. So when I connected with these kind of people who are working as a data analyst, I got to know that how a data analyst works. Now, after to know how a data analyst works, that was the most important thing. I decided to make projects. So at that point of time, I made 2 projects. And literally, I made those projects with my own thing. Like I given my time 3 to 4 days of time and I made those projects. Now, from that project, one of the project I took and I placed that in my resume for the 9 months of experience that I had in Coforge. Like that till that time, it was only 7 to 8 months. So that 8 months of experience, I shown as a data analyst. Because see, if you are hired as a software engineer or a engineer or an analyst, you can like mold your resume. So resume molding is very important. So even if you are from a different tech role or different profile, sales or anything, if you know the art of molding your resume, like showing your previous experience as a person who is working as a data analyst. So I was not working as a data analyst anywhere, but with my skills, with my project knowledge, I showed in my resume that I am a person who has worked on a data analyst kind of thing. Now that gave me 9 to 10 months of experience in my resume because I was working in a company. Now that 9 to 10 months of experience that I showed as a data analyst worked for me. And it will work for everyone if you have real knowledge. Now, after that, I started applying. And that time, I created my complete resume on Doc. So that resume was completely on Doc. And my friends also helped me to create that. So it took me 3 to 4 days to get a good resume. Because at that time, this ATS and this thing was not that much. That is hype right now. But I think that ATS is something like if you are applying in big tech companies, there that thing ATS works. But for normal companies, people are seeing the resume. So now, good resume was prepared. I was skilled, and I know how a data analyst works. So I started giving interviews. So at starting, I was not getting any calls. I was getting calls for .NET developer profile, but I was not getting calls for data analyst. So I took help of referrals. So when I took help of referrals, many of my friends helped me in this because I told them my journey, and they have seen that because I was teaching at that point of time to different multiple people, free as well as like paid also. And I was very active on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn also helped me a lot. So at that point of time, from one follower or zero follower, I made my following till 6,000 followers. And that was the process when I was teaching the students of Masai, and I was teaching different other people for free. So at that point of time, my 6,000 audience was very good. And people were trusting me at, yeah, Durgesh is someone who is a good person in data analytics with my two skills only, SQL and Python. Now, see, there are other things also important, like you must need a visualization tool, Tableau or Power BI, and you must have some basic knowledge about statistics, and you are a good problem solver. So basically, problem solver means if you are a person who can understand the problem or a business problem and come out with a specific kind of analysis or answer that is with the help of data, then you are a good problem solving person, or you are a good problem solver. So now referral worked for me. So like in 4 to 5 companies, like I applied for United Airlines. So I applied for United Airlines on their main company's site. So I gave, like, after 2 months or 1 month, they called me and they told me that Durgesh, your interview has been scheduled. But at that same point of time, like in if I tell you the company, there was India Mart company, and there was company Useful BI, like not Useful BI. There are two more companies. I will not disclose the name. There are two more companies in which at starting only I failed in all these three interviews. Failed completely. Now why I failed, I will tell you. So technical round, I cracked in all these three companies. In all these three companies, I cracked the technical round. But in the managerial round, when people were asking me, how, Durgesh, how you worked as a data analyst in your company, tell me something about your experience. So I was unable to tell them my experience because I don't have a practical knowledge like how I have worked in my previous company as a data analyst. Now, again, this was a problem. So now I started contacting with different other people, like what you are doing, what kind of things you are doing. So at that point of time, one of my friend gave me an example that Durgesh, if you are going for a company, if you are going for interview into a company, first understand what company is. Not what companies, I'm not talking about like company CEO name or other things. I'm talking about business, how company is making business. Because if you are going for a service based or a product based company, if you are going for a profile, you have to understand how company is making the business. So that thing changed me. So now when I am going to apply for any company, I understand their business, because that will help you to solve problem solving, and that will also help you to clear the managerial role. Because right now, for example, if I'm applying for an e-commerce company, and if I understand the company's business, like that, how that company is making money, so when they will ask me about my experience, I can add the twist of e-commerce in my project that I have done, sorry, that haven't done, but I have shown it in my resume, or when I was working as a .NET developer, so I can show that thing as well. So now I got to know that what is my story to tell in the interview if someone asks me like how you have worked as a data analyst, and that comes with experience, bro. So now I have that experience that I can teach people about this. But at that point of time, I was learning. So now my story is ready. How I will show my experience as a data analyst. How I will tell them my story, my day-to-day life, or as a data analyst, and everything was ready. After that, I started giving interviews with the help of referrals as well as by applying. So I cracked United Air, like I cracked first company that I cracked was Useful BI. So that was a startup. Second company that I cracked, and see, I am telling you all the companies that I cracked where the company that in which my technical interview was 100%. I'm not telling you any false thing. My technical interview was 100%. I was not failed in a single SQL or Python question because I was very I was very skilled person at that point of time because I have teached more than 2000 people till that point of time. And people were learning from me. People were paying me to learn from me. So I cracked Useful BI. After that, I cracked United Airlines. After that, I cracked Credit B. I cracked Colgate. I cracked Target. And some companies are confidential, like people tell them don't disclose them. So I'll not disclose those companies, but yeah, these are some companies that I cracked at that point of time. And from a package of 3.5 lakh per annum, my package was boosted to a amount that is 4 to 5 times of my current package that I was getting at that point of time. So see, I played the offer letter game. It's good thing if you have good number of offer letters, you can ask for a good salary, you can do the things. But yeah, that was my journey, complete end-to-end journey, like how I transformed myself as a data analyst. And right now, currently, I have teached more than 15,000 people in data analytics. I have teached SQL to a lot of people. I am available on TopMate. I'm available on Preplaced as a mentor. I started recently started my YouTube channel also. I'm very active on LinkedIn with the audience of 65,000 plus. And I'm also available on Instagram. So you can reach me anywhere. Just you have to type my name, Durgesh Yadav, Topmate, or like corresponding with the name. Like if you are writing my name, Durgesh Yadav, just write any platform, Topmate or Preplace. You will get my profile on the first thing. So this is all about my journey, how I cracked from a .NET developer to a data analyst role. And I will tell you all, see, skills are important, but having a mentality, how a data analyst works, how is a data analyst doing his day-to-day things, very good in SQL, medium in Python, good in visualization tools, because tools are nothing. Tool is something that you can learn. See, if you will use your mobile phone for 10 days, you will learn how to use a mobile phone. So tools are something. If you want to crack an interview on Power BI or Tableau, you have to understand Power BI and Tableau, but you have to be very theoretical at that point of time to crack the interview. But SQL and Python is something that you have to solve in front of the interviewer. And in 80% of the company have their first round as SQL round. So I will tell you, see, in my case, I was prepared with four things: SQL, Python, Excel, Power BI. This thing can be changed for other people as well. But yeah, the main concern is, see, you have to develop a mentality how a data analyst works. Second thing, you have to be skilled. Third thing, practice a lot of things. So in my journey, I practiced on Strata Scratch, all the questions, in Hacker Rank, all the questions, in Lead Code, all the free SQL questions, in Data Lemur, like at least 20, 30 questions. And I have solved a lot of questions of my students who were learning from me. So when they ask me some questions, I tell them the things. So that's all about my journey. And I will recommend you, if you want to learn all these things like this only, and if you might want my personal assistance, and if you want to connect with me one to one, then you can directly go on TopMate profile. I will drop the link below in the like description, and do follow my YouTube channel for all these kind of transitions and videos and all the things that I have done in my life to transform myself from nowhere to this place. I can also show you my TopMate profile. So let me show you my TopMate profile. So this is my TopMate profile. Like, I'm top rated on data analytics, and I offer these all kind of courses and everything with a good rating of 4.7. And I'm also available on Preplaced. So if you want my personal one-to-one long-term mentorship, or if you want to book a session with me, I'm on Preplaced also. I'm on Instagram also. So I'm on different platforms. So you can search me, you can find me, and you can connect with me, and you can learn from me. So that's all from my side. Thanks all of you for joining and listening the complete thing. Thanks all of you. Bye. Do subscribe my YouTube channel.